Okay, join me. Let's cook porridge beans for business. No, you can use beans as a business to make money. It's either you sell it raw or you sell cooked beans. So what we have to do now, what to do now is to cook beans, porridge beans. For those that don't know how to cook beans, or maybe you are not in Nigerian, you are living in diaspora, you don't eat beans, but you something you love to cook or learn how to cook, this video can help you, because this is the practical way of cooking these beans, or this is a tutorial on how you can cook beans. So after sieving the beans, raw beans, you remove the stones and sharp. Then you wash it thoroughly with cold water. You wash it thoroughly with cold water before you start cooking, because you have a lot of preservatives from the planting to the harvesting and to the preserving, then from there to shipping it to various states, and it is a whole lot of processes involved, and hands has touched it, so you have to wash it very well with cold water. Then after washing with cold water, there are other things. uh, your water is already boiling, so after washing with cold water, you have to also wash it again with hot water, because cold water is not enough to remove all the preservatives that we used to preserve the beans, so that it won't attract weevils. So that's how it is. So you have to make sure you wash your beans thoroughly before you start cooking, to avoid health issues. All right, so let's continue. Then wash everything that you wanted to use to do your cooking. So hot water is already in the fire. Yeah, it's boiling already. So you have to take some and pour inside the beans and turn it very well, so that it will go around the beans, so that it will penetrate inside the beans and remove some of these chemicals that have been used to preserve the beans. You can see hot water is being poured inside the beans. So you turn it very well, turn it so that it will penetrate, it will go around the beans very well. This is hot water. So after that, you have to wash it thoroughly. It's very hot. You can't dip your hand inside that hot water, so you mix it with little cool water so that you're able to wash it again. You have to wash your beans very well, to avoid harmful chemicals, avoid eating harmful chemicals. So watch the practical way of cooking beans. Beans is very nutritious, especially when you cook it with plantain, yam, potatoes, or Irish potato. So that's the washing of the beans after adding hot water. Just continue to wash, so that a lot of things you learn practical way of cooking beans. This is very easy. Majority of people find it difficult to cook beans. You can cook it to sell and make money, because this is another kind of business you can do for those that want to learn it to cook and be selling. This is a practical way and tutorial on how you can cook the beans. Now it has finished washing, then beans have been added to the boiling water. So after adding beans, this is the next thing you do is to stir it, because the beans, so that it will be free in the pots to boil, so that if you start boiling, some will not get burnt. Just stir it. Now the next thing you add to the beans is no maggi. You've added no maggi. Do you know the essence of adding maggi early is to allow the maggi to, the knorr cube, to penetrate inside the beans. You know, as you added the maggi, while the beans is boiling, everything, the maggi will be entering the beans inside, so that when you eat the beans, it will have taste. Now the second thing you will add to the beans is onions. Onions, add a very good amount of onions. Be generous with your onion, because onions is also very good to the beans. Very good. You can add enough onions. The onions will also help the beans to soften the, to help to soften the beans quickly. That's the onions. It will also have, make it to have a good taste. It's boiling already. Remember, I've added no cube, then onions. So these are the first two things you have to add. Immediately you add your beans in hot water. That is the first two things. This is the ways of cooking beans. Do you have any other method of cooking beans? Drop in the comment section so that people will learn. Or if you have any video, also drop it in the comment section. Process of cooking beans, drop it in the comment section so that people will also watch and learn another way of cooking beans. You know, the essence of this video is to help those that don't know how to cook beans to learn how to cook beans. You can use it as a business. You can also use it as a food in your homes. There are people that want to learn how to cook beans, but they don't know how to cook. This is a practical way tutorial of how you can cook beans from beginning to end. Just stay tuned to the end of this video so that you'll be able to learn how to cook beans. As you can see, onions have been added, so allow it to boil. So when it boils a little, the next thing you will add is crayfish. Crayfish is also necessary while cooking beans. It will make it to have good taste. If you have crayfish, add crayfish. And also if you have dry fish, this is also the time to add dry fish. After you add onions and it boiled a little, you add your crayfish. Then the next thing you add is dry fish. If you want to use dry fish to cook, to give it a very good yummy taste. So but here in this video, I'm not using dry fish, only crayfish. So when you have added crayfish, allow it to boil. The beans to boil. Don't add any other things until you make sure that the beans has softened. While the beans is on fire, just cut your plantain, because what we're cooking now is beans and plantain. Before you cut it, make sure you wash it thoroughly. Wash thoroughly. Don't cut before you wash plantain. You wash the outside with the skin. Wash it thoroughly before you start cutting, because you can't remove the skin and start washing. No, the proper way is to wash the skin, plantain with the skin, then you now cut. While the beans is on fire boiling, remember, this is a practical way tutorial on how to cook porridge beans. All right, so you cut the plantain in different shape. Here use a round shape. You can cut yours in square shape. Remember, you can also use unripe plantain to cook these porridge beans. For those that are they have health challenges, you can also use unripe plantain to cook this kind of beans, but the only thing that you add unripe plantain earlier, but before the beans is done, so that the unripe plantain will able to be softened, because this one is ripe one. That's why you have to wait till when the beans is about is soften very very well before you add your plantain. But if it's unripe, you have to add it earlier so that the plantain can be softened, because if you add it late, though it's unripe, it will not be able to soften. But when you add it earlier on, before, immediately after you added your crayfish and the rest, you add your ripe plantain, so that you're able to soften very very well in the pot. But here, next one, you will prepare beans and unripe plantain, so that you also learn how to cook beans with unripe plantain. This is for business purposes, for those that would like to learn it, to use it to make money, to sell as a cooked food. You can also sell it as raw, be it plantain or beans. You can sell raw beans, you can also sell raw plantain. The main essence is to make money, to move from financial instability to financial stability. It is a business, yes. Food business is highly lucrative. So if you want to start food business and you don't know how to prepare beans porridge or beans and plantain, this is a practical way of cooking beans and plantain. You can see the plantain has been cut. Yes, this is a round shaped plantain. Then keep it aside. Then the next thing is just to check your beans. Anything you are doing as you are uh, cooking, be tidying up immediately. That's the beauty of cooking, so that everywhere will look neat. Now you've checked if the beans have softened. Before you add oil, after adding your crayfish, you have to wait until the beans is softened. Check if the beans have softened before you add any other thing, your oil, your plantain and the rest. So it has softened, then add your salt. If you add salt earlier, that beans will not get done. Don't add any salt, don't add oil. Just watch what I added as I added it. Then the next thing you add is oil, red oil. Add a red oil enough, because beans needs oil. If you don't like too much oil, then you measure the quantity you like to use. But I like red oil in beans, so enough red oil in beans. I like it very very well. So the red oil has been added, as you can see now. So allow it to boil, to go around the base, to penetrate the base very very well before you add any other thing. So while you added the oil, you also add onions. The first is before you finish cooking. The first, immediately you add your beans to the pot, you add onion, and again is if you add oil, you add more onions to your beans. This is the Nigerian way of cooking beans, the Igbo way of cooking beans. Anyone, if you want to learn how to cook this, oh yeah, as you have added your oil, then you add your plantain. Remember, what we're cooking is beans and plantain. Plantain has been added, so allow it to boil. Let it boil very very well. Everything has been added, so allow it to boil. Let the plantain get done, then so that the oil and everything can penetrate the plantain. See, the beans is taking a very good shape. Look at it, it's looking yummy 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 yummy. You can see our beans is about to be brought down. You can see it now. Isn't it looking good? You know a food that will be delicious by its look. By me looking at this beans and plantain, you find out that it's gonna be yummy. You see, beans is done already. So when you notice that the water has dried a little, don't allow the water to dry so much so that you have some porridge. You can see there's still water there. Turn it around so that everything that you use, ingredients, will go around the food. Don't just finish cooking without turning the beans. Just turn it very, very well so that everything, both the onions, the crayfish, the maggi, the salt, everything will come together to make the beans to have a good taste. Yeah, it is yummy. Beans and plantain is done and dusted. Who needs, who want to eat, please drop in the comment section and on your Bluetooth so that we send yes. Yummy beans and plantain porridge. So this is the practical way of cooking beans and plantain. If you want to use this to sell for businesses, you can learn it and start selling. Food is ready. Beans and plantain, here we come. It's looking yummy, yummy, yummy. Very, very delicious. It looks so neat, fresh. So what do you think about this food? Drop your opinion in the comment section and don't forget to share this video, save it to your favorite and leave an amazing comment because a whole lot of people would like to learn how to cook beans and plantain for business. Yes, it is good to cook to make money. Financial instability is a very, very good thing if you learn how to do things. Yes, you can learn how to cook beans and plantain and use it to sell and make your money to move yourself from financial instability to financial stability. Then another thing, you have to tidy up the kitchen, clean everywhere. Anywhere you see stains, clean it to make the kitchen look neat and well. That is how to cook beans and plantain. See you another time. Bye bye. And don't forget to drop your comment. Leave an amazing comment. What's your opinion about this food tutorial? Drop in the comment section. See you and God bless you. Beans is